Hello again. I am back. I did a little research on Oakley Carlson. I found a really awesome website that I believe her family have created, and I was able to get a really good timeline and do some editing and highlighting to bring out some of the most important points of her story. So I hope that a few more people come in. I'll wait a few more minutes before I start. Let me change this color. I'm not too crazy about it. Eh, Okay, we'll do bright pink. Hi, Judy. How are you? So, this is the website that I found. I did drop the link in my description. So, I do believe that this is one that her family made. I'm trying to see. Yeah, Oakley's Angels. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this was done by someone related to the family. Thank you, Judy. I think you're the only one here so far. But thank you for being here. So the screenshots I took and did some editing on, there's a lot, and some things that I wasn't even aware of. So it's very heart wrenching. It's very upsetting to know just how bad the system failed Oakley. And I will show that in the timeline in just a minute, but it just breaks my heart. Absolutely breaks my heart. So I do realize that it is currently 2:37. So I'm gonna try to get what I can in before Shan does her live. I still have to figure out dinner. I haven't even done that yet. But I wanted to get Oakley's story out there. So I'm going to go ahead and start. For people that are not here, hopefully they'll catch the replay. Okay, so what I need to bring up is the window. Okay, which one is this? Is day one. All right. So you can see the timeline on your screen, correct? Oh, let me get it back up here. Okay. Hold on, just bear with me. I'm working with like 10 million windows open right now. All right, let me get StreamYard back up here. Minimize it some. And I stopped sharing my screen. Okay. Hey, Evie. I'm trying to figure out how to do this on a Mac, and it's so confusing. All right, let me just bring back up the window, and I won't be able to see chat while I'm sharing it, but okay, so it is open. I'll zoom in some. All right, should be able to bring it up now. It's a window. Okay, here we go. All right, so you guys can see it on the screen, correct? Is this the right one? Nope, it's not. This is the right one. I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, I'm giving people time to get in here. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Jill. All right, this is the one I'm going to share first. All right, so you can see this on the screen. I made notes. This is just to kind of go over timeline of events of her story. Okay, so back in 2017, Oakley is sent to live with foster parents Eric and Jamie Jo Hiles. So they were her foster parents from 7 months old. December 6th, she turned a year old. And then we move forward to almost a year later, July 2018. It was a permanent plan was for them to be able to adopt her. So, here we are a year later. They fostered her for a year, and then it's almost a year later, and the plan was for them to adopt. Well, in the same month, Andrew Carlson, which is Oakley's bio dad, was booked for assault for attacking Jordan Bowers, which is, I think that's her mom. Yeah, her bio mom. So to me, that was red flag number one. I mean, he's got an assault charge. 4 months later, Carlson is ordered by the court to obtain a domestic violence evaluation within 90 days of release and shall enter and successfully complete the recommended treatment program. This is a year later now. Oakley turned 2 years old. So she was with them from 7 months old. This is now her second birthday. Move on to March of 2019. Oakley comes home from a supervised visit. During the 2-hour visit, her diaper was not changed. She also comes home with red marks, scratches on her cheeks. Jamie Jo, the foster parent, asked the visit supervisor, Brenda, what happened, and she stated she did not know where the marks came from. And then it has, you can see, March 26, 2019 for Jamie Jo's follow-up email to caseworker Angela Fries. So she goes for a supervised visit and comes home with her diaper not even changed and marks and scratches on her face. The supervisor that she gets in touch with says, "Oh, we don't know how the marks came from." It's kind of like they just dismissed her, and that's so upsetting. Same month, Jamie Jo Hiles emails the caseworker and sent a recent visit observation log, which includes the incident from March 7th when Oakley came home from the visit with the red marks and scratches on her cheeks. Ms. Fries ignores the information about the red marks and that the visit supervisor, Brenda, is unable to describe what happened. Now, I could go on the website and see the email and picture from Jamie Jo and see email from social worker Angela Fries. If I could get back to this, I'm pretty sure I could. Let's see. Timeline. What are you guys still seeing? Okay. So, timeline. Okay, so I'm going to present this tab instead. Stop screen, present. Okay, so here was the email that Jamie Jo House sent out. Oakley was returned home in a Pampers diaper, which we have asked for only love since she is sensitive to all other kinds. Her demeanor was ooh, sorry, hold on. Okay. Her demeanor was good, but she seemed tired. March 7th, 2019, Oakley was not changed during the 2-hour visit, and it has all the details right here. She didn't say anything about her visit. Oakley came home with red marks on her cheeks When she asked the visit supervisor, she stated that she did not know where the marks came from, and she took pictures and documented what was on Oakley's cheeks. So that is very disturbing. All right, I'm going to go back to the timeline. Okay. So yeah, they basically ignored it. Then you move on to May. The domestic violence treatment program Carlson is enrolled in wrote a letter to Washington State Department stating that this letter is to notify you of Mr. Carlson's failure to comply with his domestic violence treatment program. He had failed to attend his group sessions since April 1st of 2019. This has resulted in his discharge from his program. So he was assigned to go to this treatment program for his assault that he had back in July, and he hadn't gone since April. So that was red flag number 2 to me. Like he had no desire to get better. He just didn't care. Okay, so May 16th, they completed a detailed report regarding Bowers and Andrew that was filed as a sealed confidential report with the court. May 20th, the prosecuting attorney files a petition to revoke facts to stipulation according to his case. Basically, because he failed to provide verification that he had obtained a domestic violence evaluation. The defendant has violated the terms of the stipulation to facts that the court review the police reports herein pursuant to said stipulation and find the defendant guilty as charged. July of, let me move this out of my way. It's going in my way here. Okay, let me scroll up. So Carlson returned to court for additional hearings on this matter. So this was July through September. He had multiple court appearances that he was supposed to make, and there's more details on that, but I think it's further down when we get into it. Okay, so now this is screenshot number 2. I'm sorry if y'all are bored. I just really want to get Oakley's little story out there. All right, so here we are in September 2019. Same month, no treatment. Jamie Jo House stated that the Washington State Department of Children, Youth, and Families contacted her and her husband to make them aware that Oakley was going to be placed back in her biological parents' care in January of 2020. So you go from him getting an assault charge, him not seeking treatment for it, a couple of court proceedings go on, and then in September, they announce to her and contact her and tell her, hey, we're going to be returning Oakley to her biological parents. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. October 11th, the Hiles have a meeting with DCYF about concerns of returning Oakley so quickly. They were told, the Hiles were told, she isn't your daughter, and being poor isn't a reason for someone to not have their children when the Hiles asked about neither parent being employed. She had legitimate concerns about Oakley being returned. You know, the assault charges that he didn't get treatment for, they're not employed, and they're wanting to hurry and rush and have Oakley return to her parents. Like, this system just failed her completely. So on the 19th, she had her first unsupervised visit with Bowers and Carlson. From what I understand, this was just a one-day visit. So on the 26th, this is not the same visit. She had another one. Oakley came home from a visit stating there was violence between Bowers and Carlson. Oakley stated that she saw Bowers hit Carlson over a video that Oakley was watching on one of their phones. Jamie Jo emailed social worker Angela Fries and was told that there were no concerns and that Oakley loved her mom and dad. Do you see how they just dismiss everything she says? Like, every time she emailed them with concerns, they just brushed it off as Like, it's so sickening. It makes me sick. So you go to November. Jamie Jo House emailed Fries, states that she heard that overnight visits are going to happen, and she's concerned since the domestic violence incident between Bowers and Carlson happened recently. She also stated her concerns that things were moving too quickly. Miss Fries responded by letting Jamie Jo know that Oakley will in fact be reunifying with her biological parents even earlier than expected, with a new date of November 29th. So it went from January 2020 to now they were deciding we're going to go ahead and return her November 26th. Despite all of the things that went on, despite what Oakley had to say about what happened on her visit, they're going to return her to her biological parents. On the 9th, before she was returned, she had her first overnight visit. On the 13th, Carlson returned to court and the judge reversed the motion and the charges of assault were dismissed. Why? They just dismissed his charges like it was nothing. On the 17th, Eric Hiles, which was the foster dad, he emailed Fries and her supervisor to ask about Oakley's transition to the bio parents. They never responded to concerns about why the transition was moved up. Excuse me, so abruptly. So on 11/29, Oakley was returned to her biological parents, Jordan Bowers and Andrew Carlson. So then Oakley turned 3 years old. Now we go from December of 2019. She's back with her bio parents. We're in June of 2020. Oakley's dependency matter was closed and paperwork was signed. I guess that means that's basically they closed the case. She's back with her parents, and that's that. July of 2020, per court documents regarding a custody hearing not related to Oakley Carlson. So at this point, we're moving on to Oakley's siblings. These are things that are important, I believe, because it shows the neglect. So in these documents, counsel referenced a detailed report by DC Wyas on May 16th, 2019. So they're going all the way back. It's like now they were finally taking the time to dig into this family because this is 2020 and they're going back to an incident that happened in May. Miss Bowers was recently ordered to undergo a urinalysis. And then the CPS report specifically noted a comment that she made to her social worker that she knew how to pass a urinalysis. Counsel received copies of letters dated June 4, 2020, written by DSHS from Ms. Bowers, indicating that she and Mr. Carlson have completed court-ordered services. However, counsel has not received actual written documentation from the treatment agencies. In addition, the CPS report states that Ms. Bowers received 2 domestic violence assessments. The first recommended 1 year of domestic violence treatment. Thereafter, she apparently obtained a second domestic violence assessment that concluded no services were necessary. However, the report states that Ms. Bowers was not honest in her account or reporting domestic violence. So neither one of they lied about it. They basically said that they did it and then they didn't. They come and find out they never even participated in the counseling or the treatment. And they expressed their concern about them being able to meet the needs of their disabled children, especially noting that they had failed to attend an appointment at Marybridge Hospital, although they had been given gas to attend. So the next month, August 2020, court documents showed that last time Oakley's 6-year-old sibling's medical prescription was filled. Keep in mind, this is medicine that I had read that I believe it was like an inhaler or something for her asthma. Like it was something for, like it could be life-threatening without them. So according to court documents, from September of 2020 to December of 2021, Bowers and Carlson had stopped giving Oakley's 6-year-old sibling her medication. For a year and 3 months, She went without her medicine. That is sad. Okay, then Oakley turned 4 years old. But yeah, I want to know y'all thoughts so far. I only have one more to go over that would bring y'all kind of up to date. But yeah, it doesn't make sense how they dismissed and treated the family, the foster parents, when they were doing nothing but loving and caring about Oakley, and they dismissed everything they pretty much said. And then it's finally like maybe they grew a conscience. Somebody got a hold to them and was like, "Look, we need to look into this." And then they started putting pieces together of what was really going on in that household. I know, Judy. It's horrible. And this is why this case has never left my mind. All right, this is the last one I'll do, and then we'll take a break, and I'll do a part 2 tomorrow because I still gotta figure out dinner. But all right, so since it's long, but I won't read every single thing. I'll just give y'all like a rundown. But all right, so can y'all see this one on the screen? Yeah. All right, so December 25th. So remember, Oakley turned 4 years old. December 25th, Oakley went to spend Christmas with her family at the home of her grandparents, Fred and Kate Carlson. So this is her bio grandparents. During the investigation, so these are all things that came out after they finally started investigating things. During the investigation, Oakley's grandmother told police that Oakley didn't look well. According to court documents, Oakley's grandmother told police Oakley had dark circles under her eyes, pale skin, and that she had scratches or sores on her face. That is that is heartbreaking. Like what were they doing to this poor little girl, to their children? Oh, okay. So in January, Jamie Joe called DCYF because someone had sent her a photo and showed her the photo from Kate, from the grandmother, and it appeared she had a black eye. Jamie Joe had also heard rumors that Carlson was fired from his job for drug use. So she consulted with Elma police chief and asked for advice. They told her that they personally couldn't do a wellness check on Oakley as Oakville was out of her jurisdiction, but that Jamie Joe could call DCYF and have a sheriff go out to Oakley's residence. So she did that. She spoke with intake. He spoke very sternly to her and let her know that since she did not witness any incidents firsthand, he presumed that her information was inaccurate and told her she could get in trouble for making false reports. Jamie Joe told him she was a mandated reporter by profession and was very concerned about Oakley's safety. How sickening is that? She gets proof from the bio grandparents, and they tell her that since she didn't witness it, that it's inaccurate and that she can get in trouble for false reports. Well, how about if they would have taken that seriously and taken it as factual and at least did a welfare check? She possibly could have been saved from whatever happened to her. Okay, so the next day, they did finally do a verified sighting of Oakley. And then it says there was a DCYF case opened and the caseworker went to check on Oakley and her siblings. Okay, so this day, it was just kind of like brushed off, but I'm guessing they finally, the next day, went to check on her. So there was a verified sighting. They went to check on her. They went again February 10th. This was a credible sighting. I don't know what the difference between verified and credible is. Oakley was last seen alive by someone who was associated with the family per Grays Harbor Sheriff's Office. So this is her last known sighting. So he didn't see her himself. He just heard from a family member that she was last seen alive. So that's crazy. March 24th, DCYF called and asked if Jamie Jo had seen Oakley or her sister. Turn of events. You're in March. After all this time that Jamie has been trying to reach out and all this stuff going on, they're reaching out to her now to see if she has seen Oakley or her sister. Jamie Jo told them she had not, as she was not involved with the family, and they didn't tell her why they were calling. So the end of March, they closed the case without seeing Oakley Carlson. That is so frustrating. They obviously had a reason for making this call, and then they decided to just, okay, well, she hasn't seen her, and we're just going to close the case. All right, then. Sounds like they need some new people up in their office. Okay, so this was interesting because this fire, there's going to be way more details about the fire later on. But November 6th, Carlson calls dispatch at 2:54 p.m. to report a fire at the family home that took place around 10 a.m. according to him. He told dispatchers his daughter Oakley used the cigarette lighter to light the couch on fire and that he put the fire out himself. He stated a response was not needed but wanted to report the fire. Bowers had also told others Oakley had started the fire and that she and her husband fought the fire for about 4 hours per court documents. Fire investigators first stated that the fire had started from the microwave on the kitchen counter. We now know this information was incorrect. So I'm going to go back to the timeline. This because I want to find the pictures of the fire. So this was right here. So these were the images of the fire in the home. And keep in mind, he called after the fire and said that they battled the fire themselves and that they didn't need any assistance and that they handled it pretty much. But this is a really bad fire. Look at that. That is... And these pictures give me the creeps because I just wonder, what was the intent? Was it an intentional fire? Did something actually catch on fire? I don't believe that Oakley did it. It seems like they were just trying to blame her. I mean, look at the extent of this fire. Fella. And the microwave is perfectly fine, so obviously that wasn't true. The couch looks horrible. So this is Washington State. Washington State. Okay, and then I just have the rest of that screenshot, and then Shan's gonna go live, so... Okay, let's see. All right, so... Can y'all see this on the screen? Yeah, okay. Here's when it starts getting sketchy. So 4 days after the fire, Oakville Elementary School principal Jessica Swift went to Oakley's home, and that's what you saw earlier, to bring them supplies. And she stayed at the house for about 45 minutes, and they were told that Oakley was in her room. 11:17, they started a GoFundMe to benefit them for the fire. 11:18, Jamie Jo House emailed DCYF with concerns to let them know about the fire being suspicious in the GoFundMe, and she didn't receive a response. 11:24, so 14 days later, the principal went back to Oakley's home to drop off more supplies. Swift told police she stayed about 5 minutes and saw the other three children, but not Oakley. 11:30, 2021, Bowers and Carlson claimed they last saw Oakley. So I don't know if they officially reported it. I'm guessing that's when they finally reported that they haven't seen her. But the last credible sighting we know that we had was in February. 12/4/2021, Oakley's 6-year-old sibling goes to the principal's house for a play date and sleepover. According to court documents, when Swift asked Oakley, when Swift asked about Oakley, the sibling got upset and stated, "Oakley is no more." This is her one of her siblings saying, "Oakley is no more." When Swift asked about Oakley again, the sibling said Oakley went to live with her foster parents that she had lived with before, which we know is not true. Deputies later confirmed with Swift that Oakley was no longer in foster care. The next day, Swift asked Oakley's sibling if Oakley lived with them and was told no. The sibling then told Swift that Oakley was living with her former foster parents. That's when Swift contacted the sheriff's office saying she was concerned for her safety and requested a welfare check. So 12/5, I believe, is the day that she was officially reported missing, and then they're saying that 11:30 was the last day that they saw her. So yeah, this is a very tough case. TC, no, from what I understand, they got a hotel room. I'm guessing that's what the GoFundMe was for. They were going back and forth between the house and the hotel. And as we go further into the timeline, there are when they start actually investigating the house and the area, there are some things that do come out. That's horrible. But if you guys want to check it out, you can on that website. Let me go back to it. Let me drop it in here for y'all. Paste. Okay, that's the website for her. There's a lot more information there and a lot more detail. But I will do another part 2 somewhere Friday. Maybe tomorrow morning I can do a part 2. I know, it's very sad. But yeah, so that was a heavy one. I do thank y'all for being here and for listening to her story. Like I said, it's another heavy one. And as of today, we do not know where she's at. And these parents are alive and well. I don't know if they're well, but they're alive and they refuse to speak on what happened. Nobody knows where Oakley's at. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I'm going to get ready for Shan's Live, and I'll talk to you guys there. So DHR showed up. I told them all about it. They were welcome to look and count my prescription and also call the school. And I still get her stuff from the school. They graduated, grew up, and are great. Okay, are you talking about your personal situation? And I still get her stuff from the school. They graduated, grew up, and are great. So you had, did you foster kids? I just think it's my heart breaks for the foster mom. I will show an interview of her story too. I just gotta find the right one. But yeah. All right, I'm gonna jump off of here. I don't want to run into Shan's time. We're kind of working in sync here, and I gotta figure out dinner in the meantime. But yeah, Harsh, that is very, very, very good. Your girl's BFF. Okay, for some reason I don't see your comment on the StreamYard side. That's so weird. Let me see. I'll look in here because it's not showing they're listening. And what the F? And why are they not checking on them? I had a teenager that lived with us because she was our baby's BFF and her dad and mom were into. Yeah, just so she could. Oh, well, bless your heart for doing that. Honestly, that is amazing. You're welcome. Thank y'all for being here. And like I said, y'all can read that website if y'all want. I'm gonna go over part 2 after I do some more editing on the rest of the timeline. So I'm gonna jump on Melon and be in Shan's live. Y'all have a blessed day.